Into our Wednesday nights, we'll see an increase in cloud cover with a low down to 14. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right to the source through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we are back. It's been almost a month, I think, since our last show, but it is Outside the Box, chatting Lincoln Stars hockey here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Joel Norman, joined by the head coach of the Stars, Rocky Russo. And, you know, Rocky, these last couple days for me, I'm sure it was kind of similar to you. It finally feels like we're almost back to normal because we had that first funky week getting back. We went right into gameplay right after Christmas. Kind of a normal week of preparation and getting back to the routine this week, isn't it?
This week is our first normal week back. You've got to get out of that holiday vortex or whatever it is going on there that, you know, you send the guys home. And we had a wonderful break this year. This was probably the longest break I've ever had in 20 years of coaching junior hockey. And, you know, got to spend some time with the family and get them out of town for a bit. And, but then you come back and everybody's got to get back into the swing of things and back into the routine. And, you know, we get a full week of practice this week, which we haven't had since we've been back, and normal schedule and lifts and skill sessions and video and meetings. And so it felt good the last 2 days just to kind of have that normal routine.
4 games already under the belt since returning from Christmas, but like feels we just blinked and it was just Christmas. But here we are, as you mentioned, getting back into that routine. And in a way, I imagine it was probably nice jumping right back in, though, and having that one game fairly quickly, right? Because I mean, you need a couple practices, which you guys got, but I would also imagine you're kind of like, hey, let's see where we are. And maybe if that break was just a good break.
Yeah, and you know what? It was for the first couple games. It wasn't for the next 2.
That's right.
We didn't play very well last weekend, but you know, we haven't been very consistent in our last 20, quite frankly. And you know, that's conversation that we had as a group this week. And we're at that crossroads where we can take one road that leads us to competing for a championship, or we can take another road where we ride this roller coaster the rest of the year and we're up and down a little bit. And we all know which path the guys want and the path that the staff and the fans want. It's a choice for our guys to compete and really, really work. And I think that we're heading in a good direction right now.
And for those who missed it, the 4 games since returning from the holiday break, got off to a great start. That 9-3 win the Saturday after Christmas against Tri-City. New Year's Eve, 4-1 win against Omaha. Both of those wins at home. That 4-1 win against Omaha with 70 shots on goal for the Stars, which I still have some records to look through. I know it's at least a record in your tenure with the Stars, Rocky. Might be a franchise record for a single game for Lincoln. And then a tough weekend this past weekend. 2 road games at Tri-City last Friday, at Des Moines last Saturday, and a pair of 1-goal losses. But looking to bounce back this weekend as we welcome in Team USA into town, the USA Hockey National Team Development Program. It's going to be the U17s who come in, Rocky, where a lot of these guys, this is, for many of them, that first real taste of that, playing up a level a little bit, so to speak, with hockey, but highly talented players, even if they've had up and down results as the U17s as a whole.
Well, they're a young group. It's an entire team of 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
And so they, back in the day when they were in the North American League, I remember coaching in Youngstown, and we would play the 17 teams, and you'd beat up on them early on in the year, and you'd slowly watch them morph into the 18 team, and they were then really, really tough to play. But at that point, most of the time they were out of the playoff picture, and every once in a while the 18 team would pop on your schedule, and they would just pound you into the dirt. I remember the one year with Kane and that group, they just absolutely smoked us 10-1 or something, and James Van Riemsdyk was like unstoppable, and so but those guys, they have to learn, they have to grow. They're obviously, the cream of the crop from that 08 group, or at least on paper they should be, and so they're talented. They'll make plays, they'll score goals. They have to learn how to play junior hockey. Fortunately for them, they've got half a season under their belt, and so we're certainly not taking them lightly.
Yeah, 2 games with them, 7 o'clock on Friday at the Icebox, 6 o'clock on Saturday. It should be 2 really fun games where if you're a season ticket holder on Saturday, you can use your Buddy Pass to get a free ticket for a friend, another family member to the game. And then Friday for that one should be a lot of fun. Star Wars night at the Icebox. Scoreboard's going to look a little different. I don't know if you saw it this week during practice.
Cool.
Yeah, a neat look to that. So really looking forward to Star Wars night on Friday. And tickets for both games can get at LincolnStars.com.
I am going to have some requests for Friday.
I had a feeling this was going to come up. Go ahead.
First of all, our wonderful PA announcer, Craig, is not going to be allowed to announce the score of the game.
Okay.
He can't.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask all of our wonderful friends who respect my allegiance to the Buckeyes to not discuss the game with me and the conclusion of the game when I come up to do my coach's show or my coach's comments. And then I'm going to race home and I'm going to mute my phone and I'm going to watch the game in the hopes that I get to actually watch the game.
Without any distractions.
It's
so hard to do in 2024. It's 5 now.
It's not going to be hard for me. I don't need my phone. I don't need the TV. It's going to be a challenge because the guys are going to still peak probably.
Yeah.
The fans are peaking. People want to know. But Craig doesn't need to announce it. Everybody has a phone. They can check the scores if they want to.
That's a good point.
And I don't need to look if it's up on the TVs in the John Henry or whatever. I would love to be able to win a big game on Friday night and then go home and enjoy that game. And I watched the Tennessee game with my kids sleeping in the hotel.
Yeah.
In the bed next to me. My wife
worked out
sleeping.
Pretty well for
I got
you guys.
to watch that.
Yeah.
And then obviously got to watch the second game at Corey Courtney's house.
Was fantastic.
It was fantastic. It was unbelievable.
Guys, I fell asleep during the second quarter and I woke up and it was out of hand at that point.
I mean, they're playing good football right now. They're fun to watch. And in fact, this is pretty exciting to see these Final Four teams. I think that
5 through 8 seeds too.
Well,
pretty cool.
They're 5 through 8 because they mismanaged the seeding, obviously. And when all 4 lower seeds are the favorite in Vegas in that second round, clearly they mismanaged those seeds a little bit. But when you put a new playoff structure in, you've got to there's going to be some learning that happens there. I'm sure that they're going to address that. And but I also have to laugh a little bit at all the Alabama should have been in, Georgia should have been, and
Alabama should have beaten Michigan in their useless bowl game too.
Yeah, I mean, or Vanderbilt, or
teams,
Oklahoma. They got blown out by Oklahoma. So, and then Alabama goes and they get blown out in their bowl. So I think the right teams were in. I would
have done the order differently.
Well, and in a perfect world, I think it's 8. I don't think it's 12, but there's a lot of money in 12, and I don't know that they're ever going to go back to 8.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting. You look at, compare it to hockey. You start adding playoff teams just so that you generate more revenue or what have you. You're not going to get that same quality look to those games. And that first round was kind of mediocre. you know, and I thought the games in the second round were pretty good.
Much better.
Obviously, that Arizona State Texas game was pretty fun to watch, and you know, the Penn State game was impressive to watch. The Notre Dame game was impressive to watch. So, you know, they're fun games. It's what it should be, college hockey or college football wise, and I love the fact that we still have college football right now.
I'm loving it too, because usually by now we're done.
Yeah.
The national title game would have been this past Monday, but I'm enjoying more college football in that sense. But I know you're not enjoying how it interrupts the schedule a little bit on Friday.
Well, I'm used to it a little bit. I wish they would have flopped those games and we would have got
Right?
that Thursday game. But and props to the Cornhuskers for a big bowl win. I think that that program's trending in the right direction. A lot to be excited about for them. So, you know, good things happening in college football.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for that Penn State Notre Dame game. I've got a huge family conflict. My dad went to Notre Dame. My sister went to Penn State. So they've been fighting each other all week just about that one, about, where's everyone else on this? I said, I'm not rooting for Penn State. I'm cheering for Notre Dame and that personally. But
well, and so then I find out, so Harrington's been giving me the business all year about Oregon.
That's right.
Right. And so obviously, as Ohio State's pounding on them, I'm chirping at him a little bit. And he's like, why are you chirping at me? I'm not even an Oregon fan. I just don't like Ohio State. And now all of a sudden him and Picard roll in and they've got their Penn State gear on. We are, and this and that. And our parents went to Penn State, so we're Penn State fans. And I'm like, funny how I didn't hear much about Penn State all year. And now it's time to jump on that bandwagon. I'm just busting their chops, obviously. You know, I'm happy those guys get to enjoy something a little bit outside of hockey, and I love that banter. I love to have fun and to chirp a little bit back and forth with the guys.
Beauty of sports.
It's fun, and so in a perfect world, we'd see Ohio State and Penn State in the championship game. That would confirm that the Big Ten rules the world, and we would have a lot of fun with that in our locker room.
It's going to be a lot of fun seeing just what happens with these couple games this week. And we've got our games. It's we're used to January kind of being a tough time for sports, but at least the start of January this year, I mean, it's a fun time. And it's just, especially with the weather getting colder like this, you need a little extra excitement like that. But looking forward to the college football playoff games this week, looking forward to the Stars as well. And 4 straight games at home, Rocky. I was looking at the schedule the other day, and we should mention, if you want to be a part of the show, feel free to text us. Question 402-464-5685. And we'll go to those questions. Actually, we've got a couple right now.
Yeah, this one from Chase B's got one from each of you. First one for Rocky Russo. Number one, he's got, what do you think of Des Moines' new arena?
Good question.
Well, it's an upgrade from the old arena. So you know what? It's a sports complex.
Did you walk around outside of the arena?
Soccer,
what
volleyball.
An environment.
It's an awesome complex.
They have pickleball courts too.
Yeah,
I get everything.
You know, for me, when I think of junior hockey in the USHL, I think more of that arena type of setup. I don't think they have that, but for what they had before and the state that building was in, it's certainly a big time upgrade. Now we'll see what they're going to do long term in regards to potentially a new facility. They've had it on the books, and then it's fallen through a couple times, but I think it was a good placeholder for them till they can figure out a home long term.
Glad Chase brought that up, because I thought the same thing. I remember going in there, I was like, how weird was it not seeing it center ice? It didn't say Madhouse at Hickman.
Yeah,
because we're used to seeing that from Buccaneer Arena, but I really enjoyed going. Looking forward to going back there in a couple of weeks. And hey, true to form for a Des Moines Buccaneers arena, it was just about as cold as Buccaneer Arena was. So the old charm is still there.
It was not warm, that's for sure.
Second one here from Joel. He's got for Joel. He says, "How about them Caps?" And then we got an unknown texter in here. I'm not sure if Rockies are willing to go down this road. This one's from Ross. Says, big games this weekend. If Ohio State loses, should they fire Ryan Day? 4 straight years of losing to Michigan. That game really counts.
Wait a minute. You cannot fire that guy now, right?
No.
I was going to say.
Listen,
okay.
I was up. Every fan, and I don't care what you're a fan of. If you're a fan of an elite program that has the ability that the Ohio State Buckeyes football program has, when you see them underachieve, you get frustrated. And the game plan against Michigan clearly was a disaster. Now, I'm going to take the approach that maybe they were so smart that they threw that game. And they didn't have to play Oregon 3 times.
Do you believe teams throw games?
No,
I don't either.
No.
Not at least anymore.
no, they you know what? I'm just looking for a reason to
Okay.
defend Ryan Day. The thing that I will say is he's been an elite coach. He's an elite recruiter. He's still a first-time head coach, and yes, he's been there for a while now. But he's had immense success, and he's bringing in the best players. Now, I can go back to that conversation and say, well, John Cooper brought the best players in, and they were loaded at times, and they never accomplished much. And then obviously Mr. Tressel and Urban Meyer, those guys, they brought the best players and they won. And so I think Ryan Day is going to get over the hump. I have a feeling it's going to be this year is my hope. And, Ohio State won the first new version of the playoff. And when they went from the BCS to the playoff, and
10 years ago too.
Yes,
that's right.
And my hope is they win the new version of the new playoff.
I did think that the other day too.
So
that's a good point.
They also won that with their third string quarterback, if you recall.
Yeah, and they won the Rose Bowl in the semifinal that year because they beat Florida State, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or no, they beat Alabama Sugar Bowl. I'm sorry, I'm
thinking Alabama and then Clemson, right?
No,
or vice versa.
No, because the first 2014 top seed
Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game.
Alabama was the number 1 seed. Ohio State beat them, and then Florida State lost to Oregon because Florida State was defending champs.
So they beat Oregon in the championship game. They beat Alabama in the semifinal, and they beat Wisconsin 59-0
before that
in the Big Ten championship game, which they had to win to get in with their third string quarterback.
And they were the 4 seed,
because
with
JT
Cardale
Barrett
Jones
and
because JT Barrett got hurt against Michigan that year. Yeah.
And then the backup gets hurt, and here comes Cardale just throwing bombs.
Yeah, because Braxton Miller got hurt before the season, and then Cardale Jones. That's right.
So we'll see. 10 years later, we'll see.
That would be interesting. I was going to say that question had to be thrown out the window after the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
you beat Tennessee. That's one thing.
I think the question went out the window after they beat Tennessee. Quite frankly, if they would have lost to Tennessee, I think you would have a seriously different conversation. I'm not a fan of firing coaches. I think there's time and place for it. I look at the carousel that's gone on, and we had this conversation in junior hockey a couple weeks ago, but the carousel that goes on in the National Hockey League, now it's going on in the NFL. I had a conversation with a friend of mine last night, and he's talking about your coach, Coach Tomlin, and what an amazing coach he is. And I said, you know what? I do think he's an amazing coach, but you do know he hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years. And so, at what point and maybe that's just the philosophy. There's only been 3 coaches in Pittsburgh history, right? Chuck Noll.
Not history,
Cowher,
but since 60.
The 60s, right?
Yeah.
So Cowher, Noel Cowher, and now Tomlin, right? And so essentially they ride their guy. And I think maybe they're just okay with winning a Super Bowl once every 15 or 18 or 20 years. But no playoff wins in 10 years is tough to swallow if you're a fan, I suspect. So no, the idea that Ryan Day should be, who are we going to replace him with? Who are you going to go get that's better? The answer was Mike Vrabel. But Mike Vrabel, yes,
he's going to get the Patriots job, is what it sounds like.
I don't know.
I would bet.
I don't be surprised if Tom Brady drags him out to Vegas.
Interesting.
Because they fired Antonio Pierce today.
Oh, that's right.
So Brady's got a relationship with him. He's also got a relationship with, I think, Mike Flores, who was the head coach in Miami.
Yeah.
And he worked in the Patriots organization as well.
Wow.
And it sounds like Tom's going to have some significant sway on that hire. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm not a fan of firing coaches unless it's egregious. I think that Ryan Day is doing a fantastic job, and I think every fan's emotions got high. Like, let's look here. How many people in Lincoln, Nebraska would like to have Bo Pelini back? Maybe not now with Coach Rule doing a great job and rebuilding the program, but you moved on from a guy that won 9 or 10 games every year, had you in a bowl every year, was competitive, and he's a cranky guy, but he was doing a great job. And I happen to know him because he's from Youngstown, but he was doing a great job. And then you go and you always think something's better.
Grass isn't always greener.
It was Ohio State. That was a team that was beating us by, you look at the scoreboard, it'd be 50-0. Those were the games that got Bo Pelini kind of can. Obviously, there was that story at the very
Isn't
end
it-
there, but that was a lot of the buildup.
Isn't it funny in college football history, the number of stories you hear of that, where it's a guy who replaces someone else and, boy, we're losing to the teams we should be beating. And then all of a sudden you get rid of that guy and you kind of go down a dark cliff sometimes.
Well, yeah, we brought in Mike Riley, who was 500, which just didn't make a ton of sense. You're getting rid of Bo Pelini, who's I can't remember what he was, probably like 75% win percentage. And you bring in Mike Riley. It was it's what, to like Rocky's point. Like if you're gonna get a Ryan Day, who in the world are you bringing in that you can trust to have that same level of success?
And it's, do you go internal? It's Brian Hartline, who has zero experience as a head coach, who I think is fantastic.
It wouldn't
by
be
the way,
Chip Kelly, that's for sure.
No, Chip Kelly wouldn't.
If you
even
were
be
getting rid of Ryan
consideration.
Day, you would also get rid of Chip Kelly.
Well, he's there because of Ryan Day, and Chip Kelly also left a head coaching job in now the Big Ten and at UCLA because he specifically said, I don't want to deal with this NIL stuff. I don't want to deal with all these other things. I just want to coach.
That's a story that needs to get talked about more. I'm so amazed by that too. When I first heard that a few months back, I was like, that was why I was like, it's an interesting factor. Nick Saban retiring when he did. Don't think that's a coincidence.
The entire look of amateur quote unquote athletics these days is changing. And I'm not necessarily certain that it's for the better. I think that amateur athletics hold a very special, important piece to the development of a young person. And so when you start to include financial elements in that process at a young age, I think you're losing some of that common sense side of things where the coaches can coach, the players can be held accountable. There's expectations, there's responsibilities. You lose that now because the portal's a free for all. It's free agency. There's no accountability to the program. There's no transformational relationship between the player and the coach. It's very transactional, and it makes it harder to build your culture. It makes it harder to build those relationships with your players. And you look at Blake Montgomery. Blake Montgomery was a player that he had a fantastic season last year, and we're proud that Blake was here, and we did a lot to help Blake, and Blake did a lot to help himself. But he went from a player that wasn't in consideration for the National Hockey League or even playing in this league. He was drafted in the North American Hockey League because they didn't think he was going to make this league. And so to then do all that, put all that time in hours and hours and hours of helping him with that process, and then just see him walk out, that hurts as a coach because you feel like you have a genuine relationship with the player and you've put a lot of effort into helping them succeed because you want to serve your players. That's what a good coach does. And when you see that path isn't there anymore, like Nick Saban saw, you go, you know what? I don't want to deal with this anymore. Didn't the Miami basketball head coach just up and quit a week or two ago? And he literally said, I don't want to deal with this. This isn't what I signed up for. This isn't what college athletics was when I got into this. And so, it's time for me to step aside, and you always have to evolve as a coach. You have to change, but sometimes evolving into things that you don't believe in are a challenge. And I think that's where a lot of coaches right now, whether it be junior hockey or college athletics, are at a crossroads.
It's been an interesting thing this year, and it's something we're not going to feel the full benefits of until probably a couple years down the road, right?
Well, you use the word benefit.
I should say effects.
we could see some very negative effects. And we saw one NCAA Division I program has now dropped. AIC is dropping their Division I men's program. Justin Mexico plays there. He's the one on the picture here for the graphic. But these schools can't afford it. They can't afford to keep up with the Joneses, to bring in that NIL money on top of the donation money they need just to run the programs. Now Congress is going to step in and they're going to say, oh, you have to pay these kids. And, what does that look like? Yeah. Is the bowling team at the University of Nebraska going to get
that's
paid?
The problem. You don't want that. That's a nightmare situation. The problem is that they're stuck between, is it amateur or is it professional?
Well, the Dartmouth players just
backed out
of that lawsuit where they were trying to get employment status, thinking that was in their best interest. But you can be fired when you're an employee, and we don't have to give you your scholarship anymore. And so I think that there's more to it. Plus, you want to start bringing in imports or non-American citizens to be student athletes at your program. Now they need a work visa instead of a student visa. Like there's just
completely changes.
There's so many elements that go into this that the average person doesn't recognize because they're not in it. But the biggest thing for me is you're taking away that purity of what a student athlete is meant to be. And I always felt like you were getting your college paid for. Yeah. You're getting, $240,000 towards your college education. You're getting that completely for free. And most kids don't get that. They have student loans and they're paying their way through school. And to me, that was enough. And yes, the schools made money. And yes, the colleges made money, or the coaches made money. I did feel like the idea that the coach could just pick up and leave and the player had to sit a year, I feel like they could have done something with that. Like, okay, you get one free transfer, right? Where you can go anywhere, no questions asked. If your coach leaves, obviously you can go anywhere, no questions asked. But we've made it a banana republic now where you can literally just change schools 5 times in 5 years. And now the junior college kids, they sued. And so now their 2 years of junior college don't count towards their 4 years of eligibility. It's just you what's next? What's next?
Because before that was the benefit. You go to the junior college, you can bypass that sitting out a year.
Yes.
I work in college baseball, summer collegiate baseball in the summer. We knew a lot of guys who over the course of a summer, for that reason, they'd leave a Purdue and they'd say, hey, I'm going to go to a junior college so that I can go play back Division I the next year. So it's a mess. And there's also been the rumors that, hey, NCAA might add a 5th year of eligibility. What the heck does that mean for your degree? Are you doing grad school every time?
No, you're just taking your classes slower. And
probably.
You know what? I don't know what that's going to make this entire generation look like when they become a part of the working class. And so now, fortunately, the top tier athletes are going to leave college with millions. God bless them.
Yeah.
But the average student is not. And I just saw, and I know we have to go to break, but I just saw a player, I believe at Miami, and there was a picture of him in tears and this and that. And they said it's a very emotional time for him as he's finishing up his college career. 9 years.
Oh, McCormick?
Yeah 9. Now, I get it. Injuries and whatever, but 9 years. You're 27 years old.
But if I'm him, like, hey, how many degrees do I got?
I hope he's got a doctorate at this point.
ESPN used to have this slogan. It said, it would have their logo, and then it would say, never graduate next to it. I mean, people have taken that far too literally in recent years. But we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we've got an exciting guest joining us, former Lincoln Stars defenseman Adam Kleber, who was with Team USA, who just captured the World Junior Championship, for the 2nd consecutive year. We'll chat with Kleber about that, his time at Minnesota Duluth, and much more. Stick with us here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solution offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard, and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions, 2040 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive Certified Piedmontese Beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100 and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Limitless Mail has redefined the little blue pill with our new ED trochees that melt in your mouth, delivering faster results so you can be spontaneous again. Once you try the Limitless Mail trochee, you won't go back to the little blue pill. Our trochees go right to the source through your bloodstream, leading to quicker, harder results. To experience the difference for yourself and your partner, schedule a free consult with the men's health experts at limitlessmail.com.
Early break.
I need to know what the definition of a chandelier is.
Chandelier?
Yeah. That's the same too?
I think so.
When I think chandelier, I think like an old-timey big light that's fancy, that's bedazzled, basically. It's got fancy looking.
Yeah.
It's not jewelry, but it's got fancy elements to it.
No, I know what you mean.
That's a regular nice light
hanging from the field.
Right.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We'll see a few flurries possible tonight. Very cold again with the low dropping down to around 3. But with sunshine, we try to improve here Wednesday. We'll reach up to a high of around 25. And as we head into our Wednesday nights, we'll see an increase in cloud cover with a low down to 14. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
New year, new you? Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping can help make sure you keep that resolution this time. Our proven system combines kickboxing, strength training, and nutrition, along with our expert coaching to make sure you're moving forward toward your goals. The next 10-week challenge starts January 11th, but if you enroll now, you can start today and get a head start on those gains for no extra cost. Plus, head to fxblincoln.com and you can save $100. Don't wait. Barrel's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again on 93.7 The Ticket as it's time for the second segment here on Outside the Box as we chat Lincoln Stars hockey. And we are very happy to be joined on the line by former Stars defenseman Adam Kleber, a guy who Rocky and I obviously had plenty of time with the last couple of years, played for the Stars from 2022 to 2024, and was just part of USA Hockey's World Junior Championship team, United States winning gold this past Sunday, defeating Finland in pretty exciting fashion. The overtime winner, it's Adam Kleber, a guy who fans should know pretty well from the last two seasons. Klebs, how you doing? It's really great to be chatting with you, and congratulations again on winning gold.
Yeah, thank you. I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on. It's kind of just been, an incredible past few days. I mean, kind of winning that gold in overtime and just, throwing your helmet and gloves and sticks in the air and just celebrating with your brothers. I mean, nothing better than winning gold for your country.
And Brock, I'll let you ask the first question here. I'm sure you've got a couple for him.
Klebs, first of all, it's great to see you, kid. Congratulations again. We're proud of you, and certainly the Lincoln community and the organization's proud of you. Tell me a little bit about your experience. Obviously, you go in there and you got healthy scratched in the first game, and you go from being the healthy scratch to playing on the second pair in the gold medal game. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, like you said, I was a healthy scratch the first game, and then actually I was scratched with Stiga. He was the guy that scored the game-winning goal, and I remember kind of the first game when we were watching Germany, we were just like, man, this really sucks. Just watching your team play out there and not being able to do anything about it. And we were like, when we get a chance, or if we ever get a chance, we're going to make sure we stick and just do everything we can to kind of keep playing. And, I thought we both played pretty well the next game. And yeah, it was just pretty cool to kind of go from that and then kind of finding your role on the team and just being able to stick in the lineup. And even cooler for Teddy to score the game-winning goal and kind of on his first shot. I'm pretty sure it was his first shot in overtime. And that was just, I was so happy for him. And, it's just such a cool moment.
I think that might have been his first shift in overtime too, if I'm
first shift, and I think it was his first shot of the whole tournament.
Wow.
Only needed one.
Yeah, all I needed one. Exactly.
Not a bad pass by Bouillon either, huh?
Yeah, that was a sick saucer pass.
I think you could make that pass too, Klebs.
I don't know.
Tell us, obviously, you've now been able to represent the U.S. in a couple different events. You've been played at the Hlinka and done some other things, but what is it like to get into an event like this with the pressure that gets put on the U.S. team, and what's that vibe like in the locker room when everybody's expecting you to win a gold medal?
Yeah, we talked about that a lot, starting from the summer showcase. How, I mean, we weren't necessarily just trying to defend our gold medal from last year, the gold medal that those guys won. We were just trying to chase another one and just be hungry for it. And I think the 05 group, they're kind of just born winners. We had a lot of great leaders on the team, like Ryan Leonard and Z Bouillon, who kind of just kept everyone calm and kind of kept everyone focused and knew how to get the job done. And we kind of just fell under their wing and kind of just did what they did. And I guess it didn't really feel like too much pressure at times. I feel like it just kind of felt like, just a privilege to be there and just, we were just chasing a goal.
Doesn't that kind of sum him up, Rocky, when he says there's no pressure? Isn't that the most Adam Kleber response, by the way?
Well, and that's, I talked to Klebs, just so you know, I talked to David Carl and we'll talk about him in a second, but I said, I hope Klebs was everything that you hoped for when it comes to him being on the team. And he said, Rocky, he doesn't say much, but he's a true teammate. He works his tail off. He's responsible. Couldn't ask for a better performance from Klebs. And that was, I was expecting that exact response. Klebs, you go about your business, you do your job, you're a good teammate, and you're certainly a part of something very special that nobody can ever take away from you.
Yeah, that's a pretty spot on, I'd say, analysis by DC. Yeah, so I have to agree with that.
Tell us a little bit about, obviously, you've got Lars there, who's the head coach at St. Cloud. You've got Killer Miller, who's the ultimate assistant coach, and then you've got DC. What's it like to play for a guy like DC? He's young. His career gets taken from him early with the heart defect. He's won 3 national championships in college, 2 as a head coach. He's won 2 gold medals at the World Juniors, and he's only in his 30s. What's it like to play for a guy like that isn't all that much older than you, but he's achieved so much from his coaching perspective?
Yeah, it's really cool just to think like he's won like 2 national championships in, I don't know, like 3 years, or like he won 2 like super quick, and then he won the World Juniors last year. And then it's just really cool that you're listening to like such a great guy, and he's always been so level headed since, the summer. And even though we were probably like under a lot of pressure, some people might think like trying to go back to back, I feel like he always was just, kept cool and kept calm, and just had a lot of great things to teach and to share with us.
The one thing that I heard about DC was that he is the best when it comes to in-game adjustments. Did you notice that throughout the course of the tournament?
Yeah, I remember actually talking with some of the forwards, and he didn't really run the D. Steve Miller, he ran the D, but I know like the forwards, they talked about like how he's really good at like managing lines, and like if someone's not going, like then he'll like take him out for a shift and like put another guy in, and like he's really effective with that, and kind of making sure guys are like playing their minutes right, and just being a really good bench manager. So yeah, that's a spot on assessment, I'd say.
Well, there were a couple of guys, maybe, Adam, you got a chance to play with where it was you'd competed against them before, whether they're college hockey or the USHL, who you really enjoyed getting a chance to be teammates with them with Team USA?
I mean, just like all those BC guys like Leonard and Hagens and Pro. I mean, just watching them like last year and seeing all those things they did, and kind of just seeing them in person, like how much skill they have, and how much like desire and compete they have to win. It's pretty cool to see up close.
I thought it was pretty neat to watch. Trevor Connolly got an awful lot of ice in overtime.
Yes, he did.
And, he's certainly a guy that we love to hate playing against when he was playing in Tri-City, but there's no doubt about his skill and his ability level. And he certainly made the USHL, as you did, and Tri-City very proud. And I thought that was a pretty neat thing to see as well.
Yeah, he had a great tournament too. He was another player. I mean, I kind of knew about him, obviously playing against him for 2 years, but yeah, he's just one of those guys that, you see him in practice, and he's just got so much skill.
Cleves, now obviously you got to go back to the grind, and you got to go back and study, and you got to go back and get into college hockey again. How has your first year been? You're a true freshman. You've been away from the classroom, so to speak, for the last couple years. You're playing at a different level in a very, very competitive conference of the NCHC. How are things at Minnesota Duluth?
Yeah, things are good. I think the adjustment to college life, I think it's been pretty easy, just like because living, in Lincoln for 2 years with Billets, I'd say that's helped a lot, and just kind of learning how to manage your time. I'd say like for the ice part, like we've been struggling a little bit, but I think we got a great group of guys, and I think I'm looking forward to heading back and kind of hopefully win some more games and kind of right the ship a little bit.
We've got some reinforcements coming. Daniel Schlane's here. He was our first round phase 2 pick last summer, and he's putting up great numbers for us. Great kid, great player, and whether he matriculates next year or the year after is yet to be known. But I'm sure you'll probably see him next year if he continues on the pace that he's on. But I think there's good players coming down the pike there with the Duluth recruiting, and I'm sure you guys are going to get it back going the way it should be.
Yeah, I believe that too. I mean, we got what it takes inside of the guys here right now, so we just gotta kind of figure it out a little bit. But yeah, it's exciting the recruits we got coming in and what the future can hold.
What's the difference for you? Obviously, you played high school hockey and then 2 years of junior. Now you're in college. What's the major difference between the approach in college hockey, whether it's the coaches, the day-to-day practices versus what we're doing here in Lincoln?
I think just like in games, like the structure is just a little bit more detailed maybe. And I think guys are just stronger and faster. And obviously there's not as many games. So I think every game just means a little bit more. It kind of has a little bit more playoff feel. Like every game, I feel like you go back for a puck as a D, like you'll get hit and maybe in juniors, like you might go a game where you're not getting hit. So I think players are just a little bit more, detailed, and there's a little bit more structure.
Interesting. Well, looking forward to having more in just a moment. Adam, we're going to take a quick break and stay tuned with us, everyone. We're going to continue with former Stars defenseman Adam Kleber. He just won the World Junior Championship with USA Hockey earlier this week. Stick around for more after these messages on 93.7 The Ticket.
You hungry? You know you are. We got chicken fingers, crunchy, fries are golden crispy, baby. Yo, don't forget about the cane sauce, baby. Ooh, right, it hits the spot. My love.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has added new strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today, and you can be one of the first to try it out. We're raising the bar with new benches, and our new hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all of the best-in-class equipment we've always had, with most clubs open 24 hours, so you can work out your way on your time. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 10th. See Home Club for details.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine. heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
We'll see a few flurries possible tonight. Very cold again with the low dropping down to around 3, but with sunshine, we try to improve your Wednesday. We'll reach up to a high of around 25. And as we head into our Wednesday nights, we'll see an increase in cloud cover with a low down to 14. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Early break.
I need to know what the definition of a chandelier is.
Chandelier?
Yeah. That's the same too?
I think so.
When I think chandelier, I think like an old-timey big light that's fancy with the bedazzled, basically. It's got fancy looking.
Yeah.
It's not jewelry, but it's got fancy elements to it.
I know what you mean.
That's a regular nice light
hanging from the field.
Right.
Early break from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. It's time for Outside the Box with Lincoln Stars head coach Rocky Russo and Lincoln Stars broadcaster Joel Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back again here on 93.7 The Ticket as we wrap up Outside the Box. Joining us on the line again for this last segment, former Stars defenseman Adam Kleber, who earlier this week was a part of Team USA's gold medal championship team at the World Junior Championship. Adam joining us on the line. And, Adam, one of the questions I was thinking about during break is we were talking a little bit before the break about just the adjustments from the USHL to college hockey. What's one thing that you learned from your time with the Stars that maybe you didn't really realize it until after you left Lincoln, where you're in college right now? And this could be hockey or off ice, just, whatever it is, but what's maybe something you learned from your time with the Stars that you learned once you left Lincoln, so to speak?
Gosh, that's a good question. I think my time with my billets, just like how fortunate I was to, be with such great billets, the Johnson family, be with such great roommates. And just, I thought I created a lot of memories and, some strong bonds, for a lifetime there. And, I think you kind of go to college and you don't realize, like, you forget like how hard it or kind of how easy it was, in Lincoln, and, they'd make food for you and do all the dishes. And now, you're making food and doing the dishes and you don't realize, how much that sucks. But, so I think just kind of, just being thankful for my 2 years in Lincoln and how great, the Johnsons made it.
So what's that been like for you? Are you living in a dorm at Minnesota Duluth, or do you have a kid? Like, is it one of those ones where you go down to get the food, or do you have an apartment and you've got to make your own food? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's like an apartment, but kind of like a dorm setup. So I'm with 3 other guys, and we have a kitchen and kind of like a living room setup. So we do all the cooking in there. We don't go to the cafeteria or anything like that. So a lot of dishes, that's for sure.
What tonight you're making food. What are you making for you and everyone else?
No, I'm just making it for myself though. But
okay,
yeah, usually a lot of chicken and sweet potato and
okay.
Maybe some like avocado. I keep it pretty simple, so usually just like a meat and something else.
Not bad at all. Not bad. I was gonna say, I imagine that's an adjustment because for me, just I was a normal college student when that time came around. That was an adjustment, but I can only imagine for you. You're dealing with that and you're dealing with hockey and everything else. Tell me what's that been like trying to. You did some classes before, high school classes, while you were in Lincoln playing for the Stars. But what's that been like juggling, going in person to classes, having practices later in the day or earlier in the day? I imagine that's a heck of a transition too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would have been more of a transition, or I thought it would have been more of a transition at the start, but it was kind of similar to how things worked in Lincoln. Like for our first semester here, we practice in the morning, and then, you kind of get home and go to class or whatever. And that's kind of how it was in Lincoln. Like we'd practice in the morning and do all our stuff there, and then, go to study hall or whatever, get home and do your homework, and then kind of have the whole night to just hang out. So, I mean, while it's a little bit different, it's also kind of the same thing. So it wasn't too much of an adjustment, I'd say.
It's neat how the USA Yeah, it's neat how the USHL time, like you said, kind of helps prepare you in a way for doing that in college. But certainly a testament to the league as a whole. But other thing I was going to mention with you, we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up, of course, that you were a second-round draft pick by the Buffalo Sabres last summer in the NHL draft. Just for me and other people from afar watching, that was so cool. We're so proud of that. So first off, I've congratulated you before, but I'll do it again. So congratulations on that. And tell me and tell fans, what was that moment like when you heard your name called for the NHL draft? I mean, that's a dream come true moment, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, it's kind of just there was a lot of build up and a bunch of interviews and all that stuff, and you're kind of just you're waiting, and you go through the first night, and then the second night or the second day comes around, and you're kind of just itching to see what happens, and then you hear your name called from the Lincoln Stars, and it's like, oh, that might be me, and you hear your name, and it's a really special feeling. You walk down, and kind of just a testament to all the hard work you put through in your short career so far, and it was a great feeling.
It was so cool for me personally watching the Buffalo Sabres posted this video where it was a lot of their pre-draft interviews with their draft picks. It was so cool seeing your interviews that you did with them and all the answers. I remember being like, yeah, that's Adam Kleber. Love to see that. And so really cool stuff to see that. Adam, thank you for taking the time to chat with us a little bit here. Best of luck the rest of the season in Minnesota, Duluth, and just keep on crushing it, man. It's been fun to watch from afar.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. That was former Stars defenseman Adam Kleber. A lot of accolades for him and a lot more still to come in his career. Always fun to watch where these guys go after their time playing with the Stars. Hoping to see you at the Icebox this weekend. Lincoln is hosting Team USA Friday and Saturday. You can get your tickets at lincolnstars.com. But that's going to wrap it up for us. This has been Outside the Box as we chatted Lincoln Stars hockey here on 93.7 The Ticket.